So welcome to everyone on the call. Welcome to our Device Lifecycle Management webinar. Today, our solutions architect, Ian Justin, will walk you through our device lifecycle management process. And at the end of the call, we'll have time for questions. As an FYI, your phone will be muted until that time. And then once prompted, feel free to type your questions into the chat functionality. Over to you, Ian.
Thanks, Heidi. For everyone in the session, we are recording this session, so you'll be able to take a look at this after, and we'll send this to you afterwards as well. Okay, my name is Ian Justin. I'm a solutions architect here. In the session today, I also have some of my colleagues who will be able to answer some of your specific questions on device lifecycle management processes and practices. So feel free to ask questions during the chat, during the session, and we'll cover them at the end of the session and open up microphones as well. And today we're going to discuss our Device Lifecycle Management, or DLM, offering. This session will be a relatively short overview of our offerings, and we can absolutely set up meetings with your own organization to discuss your specific needs. The goal of Device Lifecycle Management services is to partner with your organization so that we can eliminate the daily IT burden of your device logistics. This allows you more time to focus on your core business, save money, and reach your company's ESG and sustainability goals. Companies are shifting to allow for a greater percent of their users to work from home. And today we're going to show you how we are helping organizations like yours achieve a streamlined, cost-effective solution and an enhanced level of end-user experience for devices being sent to new hires, devices in need of replacement when they fail in the field, and for devices being returned from separated users. In previous years, large groups of end users were supported centrally in the same location by large IT teams. As companies begin to see the benefit of being able to acquire talent that is more geographically distributed, organizations have shifted their model to allow for a greater work-from-home population. Activities that used to involve an on-site engineer simply walking to an end user's desk now have a lengthy workflow focused on device logistics. This trend of remote work has grown over the last few years, with organizations recognizing that 3/4 of their workforce is working remotely at least one day a week. The major shift is that companies now see 25% or more of their workforce is working completely remotely. In the case of BPOs, that number is significantly higher, and the logistical challenges are exponentially greater. The process of equipping agents with devices and peripherals and dealing with separations and role changes can be devastating to the effectiveness of an organization's IT team and to other departments. This device management process can involve everything from initial order request, acquisition of assets, configuration, packing, shipping, and tracking through to certified e-waste disposal of those end-of-life assets. Agent devices arriving damaged has a huge negative impact on productivity, and the poor management of devices returning from agents negates the opportunity to reuse and redeploy. In these scenarios, devices have a very limited life cycle, and very capable devices are often written off rather than being redeployed. Certified refurbished devices from our technology center, often your own devices, can save 50 to 60% over the cost of new hardware. Managing these logistics internally fundamentally distracts from what should be your core business focus. At the core of our device lifecycle management offerings is the ability for us to provide customers with a cost-effective solution for your new hire, replacement, and returns workflows. For each of these scenarios, we have a prescriptive methodology that we use to deliver into these workflows. We also understand that one size doesn't fit all, so you have the ability to customize some of the components of the services to meet your specific needs. In the upcoming slides, we'll talk at a more granular level and highlight some of the key features of our DLM solutions. At a high level, we'll briefly go over the solution for each workflow. For your outbound orders, in collaboration with your team, and in fact, on behalf of your team, we will handle all of the imaging, kitting, packing, and shipping activities, so the devices are received in a completely ready-to-run state by your end users. If a device or peripheral fails in the field, within 24 hours, a replacement can be on its way to the end user. If the order comes in early enough, we can even ship same-day replacements. For devices that are being returned, they will go through a thorough, detailed quality assurance check to validate full functionality, as well as to remediate any cosmetic defects, reskin the exterior if appropriate, and so on. Depending on the services the client has chosen, we'll then place your devices back into inventory for deployment to another user or to recycle if necessary. It's worth noting here that we will discuss the different tiers of our offering during this session. You can choose to pick only a few of these services, the imaging and shipping of complete kits to agents, for example, and not the full life cycle of returns and replacements. In our discussions today, we'll discuss the full suite of DLM enterprise services, but these services can be tailored to your specific needs and grow with you, if appropriate, over time. All of the services you'll hear about today are delivered from our 2 facilities located in Albuquerque, New Mexico, with plans in place to grow to more facilities nationally and internationally. These facilities are fully secured, purpose-built, and feature ergonomic workflows that allow us to efficiently and effectively handle all of your device logistics needs. If you'd like to have a look inside one of our facilities, we can send you a video, or you can find it on our website. We also invite you to join us for a site visit so you can see for yourself all of the topics and practices that we're discussing today. Now that we've discussed at a high level how the services operate, let's talk a little more about the functionality and the services in more detail. From an inventory management standpoint, we should touch on a few key items. The first thing we want you to know is that we want to understand your business as well as you do. So we've designed a series of workflows that allow us to forecast and plan for your deployments for next day, for 2 days, for a week out, maybe up to 3 months or more. Knowing your planned consumption, we can create an upper and lower inventory threshold so that we can mitigate any supply chain disruption. In the event that there's a shortage in our technology center, we already house thousands of devices of various makes and models on hand daily, and you can, of course, draw against these to supplement your own device landscape. Lastly, we should highlight our ability to provide you with meaningful data in a timely manner. We can provide a weekly report that details what your current inventory levels are. We can also show, based on your forecast and anticipated device returns, how long the service could operate before there is a need to replenish inventory. These reports can also show trending data, for example, if a certain make or model is experiencing a high level of failures for things such as a hard drive or memory. When we talk about configuration management, what we are really doing is creating the ability to emulate your imaging capabilities in our facility, but at scale. We can push out thousands of devices using flat files, Pixie boot into SCCM, or participate in the out-of-box experience with platforms like Autopilot or Jamf. Once your devices are imaged, if there are any post-imaging tasks, such as joining a machine to the domain, allowing for Windows or software updates, the device picking up group software security policies, or even post-application deployment tasks, we can handle that on your behalf. We can also evolve with your technology needs as you do. We know that the imaging platforms and workflows that you start out with within this service may not be the same platforms or processes that you leverage in years to come. For us, data management is about allowing our customers to harness the power of their own data within our services and working towards creating a touchless order processing platform. We understand that each customer has a different platform that they leverage for order processing. Customers might be using ServiceNow, ManageEngine, Zendesk, and so on as orders come in for new hires. The goal is either to create a scripted process where customers can upload industry standard files to our secure server, and then we automate the order process, or we can perform API calls directly from your platform to ours. In the reverse scenario, for outbound data being returned to the customer, we can send out reports on a nightly basis for things like order shipped inventory, new hire, replacements, and returns, either through a file upload via a secure server or through API calls back to the customer platform. We can even give you visibility through our customer-facing dashboard, which displays both historical and near real-time data, and that's updated nightly. Customer care is one of our top priorities. Each account can be assigned a named primary customer experience specialist, as well as secondary customer experience specialists, and they will act as primary points of contact and as a liaison to the rest of our business. On a daily basis, there will be communications about forecasting inventory, orders that are being shipped, and any other status of workflow for that day. Their role is to continuously focus on ensuring the quality of the service that we're providing to you and your customers. Behind them is a team of service coordinators that will ensure your order escalation and reporting is all being processed in a white glove fashion. One of the biggest problems we continually come across is that IT organizations are not experts in device logistics. So there are going to be problems with order accuracy, timely shipping, and device breakage due to improper packaging materials. These are all things we can help solve. We know that there are other offerings out there in the marketplace that are similar to the concept of our device lifecycle management offerings. So let's take a look at some of the differentiators and how we understand that this directly affects your business. For each package that gets sent out from our technology center, we create a shrink-wrapped insert that contains all of your small or loose items. All of your cables, adapters, key fobs, mice, headsets, cameras, etc. All of these will be shrink-wrapped onto a cardboard-backed insert. This allows for each package to have a consistent level of order accuracy as we know what was placed in the box. This also cuts down on users stating they haven't received a certain item or the correct component for their kit, which would of course delay their start. For custom inserts, we can create a welcome package that is included inside of every order that we send. This could be something as simple as 1 or 2 page printout that details what's in the box, how to connect all of the components, and what to do when you first power on your device. This immediately helps to drive down first call volume to the help desk and gets users up and running quickly. We even have the ability to enhance this process. You could place a card with a QR code on the package that links to a video that will then walk them through the same processes, albeit a little more dynamically. In addition to the materials that are helpful to create a positive end user onboarding experience, we could also place customer branded materials in the box, like backpacks, t-shirts, or whatever other branded materials you would like to distribute. We're continuously working on innovations based upon our customers' feedback. So digital forensics is something that we have focused on adding to our service for each order. We catalog the shipping label, the order, its quality assurance check card, as well as the contents of the package as it was packed. So once the box has been passed to the shipping department and out to the carrier, we can go back and find any order that's left our facility and provide customers with digital evidence of its status and the contents. This has been tremendously useful with cutting down on both end user claims that something was missing from the package, as well as being used for insurance claims with carriers in the event that a carrier damages a device. Leveraging improper packing materials such as bubble wrap and packing peanuts leads to an industry average of 15 to 20% breakage for shipped devices. This leads to a terrible end user experience as no one wants to open a box with broken gear. This broken delivery also sets off a chain reaction that leads to a delay in the end user starting their roles, which then creates an employee expense and leads to a delay in being able to bill for their work. Then, of course, this leads to the additional expenses for the IT team in having to process a request a second time, and your organization having to deal with the cost of shipping and paying for the broken device. At our technology center, we leverage custom polystyrene inserts that expand and completely form fit around the devices. So there's padding on all sides and no room for the devices to move during shipping. Our current breakage rate is less than 1% for all devices that we pack and ship. As we discussed earlier, you do not need to embrace the full DLM offering. You can customize your services and even choose from the tiers here. DLM Select contains 4 fundamental services that support the deployment and retrieval of your devices. DLM Image is the initial option for inventory management, imaging and outbound fulfillment of device kits to your agents. DLM Plus will manage the inbound return kits and audit the returned assets. DLM Depot will store and manage your own assets, move or fulfill them as per your request. And finally, in the DLM Select offerings, DLM Asset Modernization will support an asset refresh across your organization with imaging, order fulfillment, and inventory management. Now, the full suite of device lifecycle management services is covered by DLM Enterprise. This offering has all of the services in DLM Select, but also adds sophisticated inventory management and forecasting in partnership with your forecasting, of course. It includes the management of RMA replacement devices if there's a failure in the field, detailed reporting on assets and trending data, plus a named customer experience specialist who serves as a continuous liaison with the client. In addition, there are optional services in DLM Plus. This includes DLM asset recovery, managing the difficult tasks associated with asset recovery from separations and the ability to escalate the recovery process if necessary. DLM asset tracking will provide detailed information on the confirmed delivery of assets and the status of those assets. And coming soon is DLM Storefront, the option to create a customized self-service asset ordering portal, where agents can purchase their own devices in accordance with your guidelines, of course. Order fulfillment would again be driven from our technology center. So as you can see, these tiered services build on one another. And if you decide to begin with DLM select options, you can add services as appropriate for your business needs. So these are our device lifecycle management solutions. We allow you to offload the burden of device logistics and focus on your core business. And we will handle the process from initial order through asset acquisition, configuration, packing, shipping, returns, and reuse cost effectively and efficiently. We offer the option of reusing equipment with a certified refurbishment process at a savings of 50 to 60% over the cost of new hardware. And we extend the life cycle of your assets, saving money and enhancing your ESG and sustainability goals. Fundamentally, we shorten the agent time to productivity. We minimize breakage and inaccuracy in the orders, manage configurations, track outgoing and incoming orders, refurbish and redeploy your assets, and help you forecast and manage your inventory. Our tiered DLM offerings allow you to pick the services that will most benefit your organization, and they allow you to evolve and grow these services over time. Fundamentally, we help our customers become leaders in their own industries by allowing them to focus on exceptional customer service to their own clients. If you want to learn more, we are happy to schedule individual follow-up sessions to discuss your specific needs and workflows. Just contact us and see the details here, and we'll keep them on the screen. Now let's see if there are any questions from the session. So I'm going to pass this over to Heidi and Dave.
Excellent. Thank you, Ian. For anyone who has a question, please type it into the chat. You can send that to everyone, or you can send your question to me privately. So Dave, maybe to kind of get us started, would you like to expand a little bit more on our supporting services and reporting?
From a reporting standpoint, yes. So we endeavor to give as much visibility to our customers prior, during, and after the orders are submitted. We do this through Power BI, and we're using a lot of analytics to look at trending. From an inventory standpoint, where we're doing heavy forecasting, we can actually, at the SKU level, tell our customers at what point in time the inventory will run dry, given the current trends and the forecast in place. We also have analytics around returns. We grade our returns through grade A, B, and D. B becomes, we work on them to make them become A and as new, and D's we basically e-waste or we salvage for spare parts. All those are analyzed, and we can give stats on how many Ds are coming back, what type of device it is, whether it's monitors, whether it's PCs, whether there's a certain make or model that is receiving more damage or is coming back damaged than others, and that may be a manufacturing issue. So we dig into those kind of levels across all the data that we receive.
Excellent. And just a quick follow-up question for you. DLM Storefront is a new area for us. Can you talk a little bit more about what trends we're seeing with customers on bringing your own device to work?
Yeah, I think every one of our customers has a BYOD strategy. Obviously, with work at home, there are some difficulties in meeting the minimum requirements around those. But every one of our customers has that strategy, and what we're offering is the ability for the employee or the agent to actually purchase that device through Second Gear with accordance with their employer. So their employer sets the minimum requirements. also determines whether 2 monitors, 1 monitor, headset, webcam, etc. So a bundle will be provided, and there'll be potentially 1 or 2 offerings there where, depending on the customer and who will dictate the different bundles, but an employee or potential employee will be able to go in and buy their own device through our portal.
Excellent. And if there's any questions, feel free to type those into the chat. Maybe a quick follow-up for folks who use this as part of a new hire orientation process. Can you talk about how some of the branding and work that we do there?
Yes, so there's a lot of opportunities for branding, whether that's through the reporting portal, but also within inside the package, and basically, as Ian mentioned, any inserts that we can put in, etc., that we can do branding for. We actually have had requests to brand the boxes. We guard against that just because if we have companies' logos on boxes, they become targets for people when they're left on doorsteps or any other situations like that. But there is an opportunity to brand throughout the workflow, whether it's on the PCs themselves or on any of the other equipment, and also the inserts that go into it.
Excellent. Shipping tends to be somewhat of an issue. Can you kind of maybe talk a little bit more about our process there and how our technology there?
Yeah, all of our customers use their couriers. Typically, it's either FedEx or UPS. We find that there are different reasons why people use either. We build good relationships with both of those carriers and more, but those are the most frequently used. We obviously use the inserts, the foam insert packing for a reason. There are certain periods during the year where we see more carrier damage than others, obviously around the holidays, etc., when temp personnel are hired in those businesses. So we do see some carrier damages. A lot of our customers also use the carriers to return equipment where their employees can drop them off at the local UPS or FedEx store. Those are supposed to be repackaged and sent, professionally packed and sent back to us. We actually gather stats on how many of those are actually repackaged. We still find employee packaged units. Mostly we know that because blankets and cushions and things like that are used as packing material. So we can provide you information back that helps your relationship with the courier, and we can provide feedback on damage, the type of damage, and how consistently it's happening.
Excellent. And typically, what is a SLA for our orders when someone puts in a request once they build out a contract with us?
So for new hire, we have a 72-hour processing time. We have a 24-hour processing time for replacement. Obviously, people are down in the field if their PC is damaged or their monitors, etc., or even a headset at this point in time. So we turn those around in 24 hours. And then separation, when we receive the devices, we give ourselves 5 business days to get that audited and cleaned and back into inventory if it's in an A grade. From the new hire perspective, from the statistics we have 72 hours. I think we're running at 98% within 24 hours. So same day in 24 hours. That changes obviously seasonally based on peaks, etc., and that's why we have the 72. But 98% of the time during this period of the year, we're able to get them out within 24 hours.
Excellent. And then would you like to expand a little bit on our process for cleaning and recycle?
Yeah, so as the equipment comes back in, obviously we unpack it, we grab the tracking information, so you can correlate that, and we can correlate it with the employee. We grab any other information around the package, if there's any names or anything like that on the packaging. We unpack that, and then we go through a visual inspection on all the pieces, all the items that we recover. Obviously, we track serialized items. Serialized items would be desktop, laptop, monitors, docking stations, etc. They go through a visual inspection, first make sure there's no dents or any stickers or anything like that. All stickers are removed, the units are cleaned, etc. They also go through a functional test. Obviously, monitors, you can't see any pixelation, or potentially you can't see cracks in the unit sometimes without turning it on. So we go through that process for those. PCs go through an imaging process that highlights any issues with memory or power units. Those are the typical items. But once they've gone through all those processes and we deem them visually and functionally capable, then we place them back into inventory.
Excellent. And for folks who could say hypothetically are terminated and don't return their equipment, do we have a process for that?
Yeah, we're seeing as high as 40 to 50% equipment loss in some of our customers due to non-return of equipment. So we have a couple of mechanisms. The most popular one is just that we focus on, once we're informed of a termination, we make contact with the employee. We work with your legal to come up with 3 letters, emails, or we use text as well, to just inform the employee that their responsibility in returning that equipment. The letters get increasingly more aggressive, if you like, as the time goes by. Typically, we send them within 10-day gaps. Once we've made contact with the employee, we're able to send them packing material if they don't have it. We're able to instruct them of how to pack the equipment. We're also able to send a carrier to them or point out where their closest carrier is so they can drop the equipment off. If it's too bulky or something of that nature, then we can address that and send packing, and they can return it to us. Typically, we're able to decrease those at least a further 20-25%.
That's great.
Oh, sorry, I just got one more item. There's a more enhanced option where we actually embed software into the firmware of the PCs as they go out, which allows us to do geo-tracking and to also brick the device. So it's more of a Apple iPhone experience. So once somebody knows that the device is bricked and they can't get into it, then they're more likely to return it to us.
Excellent. Great. If anyone has any questions, feel free to type them into the chat. Just maybe one final question for you, Dave, kind of thinking about hardware. Do you want to talk a little bit about our hardware and how we work with customers on that?
Yeah, so DLM can be agnostic to any hardware provider. Obviously, Red 8 and Second Gear provide hardware as well. During the pandemic, a lot of our clients went towards refurbished equipment through Second Gear because of the availability. We actually, in the warehouse, look across all our customers and the type of devices they're using and stock appropriately above what they have in inventory. And a lot of the time when we've had challenges with where our customers have had challenges getting hold of equipment, to avoid any delays in ordering, we've actually stepped in and provided equipment on their behalf. But also a lot of our clients have started to move over more and more to refurbished as a mechanism to get hardware quicker and on demand. If there's any questions on that hardware piece, then Ian and Chris Deedy from Second Gear can definitely take your calls, etc., from the contact information shown on the screen.
Excellent. Well, we don't appear to have any other questions. Thank you for everyone's time today. If you have any follow-up questions or would like to set up a session for your organization, feel free to reach out to your account manager. And thanks again for your time.